Redding, California, were among those who died. Jordan Webb is a family friend of Mel.
He's the most loving, most joyful, most positive person I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
A body believed to be that of a missing Nash County woman, Deanna Alejandro Keel, has been found, although it has not been officially identified until an autopsy is complete. The Nash County Sheriff, Keith Stone, says there has been no sign of Keel since her disappearance.
No note. There's been no note located. There's been no transactions of her financials. There's been no use of her cell phone.
The Pentagon has approved a new policy on transgender people serving in the military. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick reports.
This new policy would bar transgender troops and recruits from transitioning to another sex, and it could lead to discharges for those who need hormone treatments or surgery. The new policy takes effect in 30 days. It will likely face more court challenges, and some lawmakers have already called it discriminatory.
Distracted driving dangers are getting revisited in North Carolina, where lawmakers are advancing a prohibition on handheld cell phone use in the name of reducing fatalities and potentially reining in insurance rates. You're listening to NCN News.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417-member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing, and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
A man acted suspiciously while trying to get into Fort Bragg without any acceptable form of identification on Tuesday. The man's behavior caused Fort Bragg to shut down the All-American Freeway, according to Colonel Larry Dewey.
Well, not wanting to present ID, and then when we escorted him to the visitor center, he didn't want us looking in his vehicle and was acting suspicious around the vehicle, which caused us more cause for concern and suspicion.
There are talks underway for a compromise to limit presidential power as the Senate prepares to vote on a resolution to reject President Trump's national emergency declaration to fund more construction of a border wall. CBS News correspondent Anne-Marie Green has more.
The White House and Republican senators are negotiating a deal to prevent the Senate from rejecting President Trump's emergency declaration for border wall funding. Vice President Pence met with 5 Republican senators yesterday to try and work out a compromise that would limit a president's power to declare national emergencies.
British lawmakers are hours away from another decision on leaving the European Union.
After defeating Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit bill for a second time, British lawmakers are now expected to rule out leaving the EU without a deal on March 29th, but there's still no majority for any of the Brexit scenarios in Parliament or out. British lawmaker Chris Phillips.
My postbag is almost exactly divided 50-50. Half the people that write to me say, let's have a second referendum and stay in. The other half say, let's just walk out tomorrow with no deal.
16 days before Britain's scheduled to leave the EU, and EU leaders are signaling that if the Brits ask for an extension, they might not get it. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
A Page High School football player injured in a shooting earlier this month has died. 18-year-old Sincere Davis died on Tuesday afternoon in Greensboro from the gunshot wound he sustained at an apartment complex on March 2nd. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The state of California is suspending executions starting today. Here's ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles.
Governor Gavin Newsom will put in place a moratorium on the death penalty here as a reprieve for condemned inmates during his term as governor, and he will immediately close the execution chamber at San Quentin Prison. But he is not altering convictions or sentences. The next governor could put the death penalty right back in place. It's mainly symbolic because no inmates have been executed in California in the past 13 years.
737 inmates currently face death in California, the nation's largest death row. Ethiopian Airlines says the black boxes from the deadly plane crash will be analyzed overseas, but has not decided where. After last fall's Lion Air crash, pilots anonymously had complained about safety issues and insufficient training on the 737 MAX. Much of the world has now grounded or banned the jetliner, the FAA now under increasing pressure to do the same. Former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort sentenced again later today. A judge in Washington, D.C. could give him 10 more years for crimes related to the Russia investigation. Another vote on Brexit scheduled in Britain's parliament today as the March 29th deadline looms.
A day after yet another crushing defeat for Theresa May, politicians here will be voting on whether to rule out a so-called no-deal exit from Europe. It comes as the Prime Minister's influence is now all but evaporated. Bernard Jenkins from her own party.
She is Prime Minister perhaps more in name than in fact, and collective responsibility has completely broken down. This is a very time-limited administration now.
If the no-deal option is voted down, lawmakers will then look at an extension to come up with a magic solution. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Due in a Los Angeles courtroom today, actress Lori Loughlin, one of 50 people charged in a college admissions cheating scam at 8 top schools around the country. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, MediShare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
President Trump has signed a rare bipartisan law to conserve and manage public lands.
Alaska Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski says both parties compromised on preserving public lands and allowing some commercial use.
How we access them for economic benefit, how we access them for recreational and outdoor benefit, how we really conserve them.
Complex rules let more hunters and campers use public lands and helps manage water and fire resources. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The American Civil Liberties Union is suing 4 Atlanta area counties over Election Day issues that wound up suppressing votes.
After thousands of voters complained about major problems that delayed them at the polls during the midterm elections, Georgia ACLU Director Andrea Young says it's time for her organization to act.
We saw polls where there weren't enough voting machines that were shipped without power cords.
Young is careful to point out the ACLU isn't accusing Cobb, Fulton, DeKalb, and Gwinnett counties of trying to suppress the vote, but she says the effects were the same. Pete Combs, ABC News, Atlanta.
And this is the 7th day of a widespread blackout in Venezuela. Embattled President Nicolas Maduro blaming U.S.-backed hackers for knocking out the power grid. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. played no roles in the outages, pointing instead to Maduro's incompetence and a brain drain in every Venezuelan industry, including electrical production. This is ABC News.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
Phil Sheehan at NC Tractor wants you to know he's back in business after the fire. New location is 299 Railroad Avenue, and with springtime coming up, it's a good time to get the tractor you've always wanted, Massey Ferguson. Ask about 0% financing with approved credit. Get ready for a busy season with a visit to NC Tractor, now with their new location, 299 Railroad Avenue. Phone number is 286-3488.
The foothills will see sunshine to kick off the start of the day, but by the afternoon, a little bit more clouds will build in. Highs will be in the lower to mid 60s and warmer to the east. Clouds will stick into the night with temperatures falling into the mid 40s. Expect highs in the upper 60s by the afternoon on Thursday. Those rain chances are set to return by Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much. What a beautiful day. I love it when she says sunshine. It's 38 right now, warming up to about 63 and mostly sunny today. And we have clear skies tonight with lows around 49. It says mostly cloudy, but we'll see some clearing sometime tonight. Tomorrow the rain returns tomorrow and tomorrow night. And then Friday we'll have rain. But Saturday, Sunday, and Monday looks like mostly sunny, mostly clear skies. Doesn't that sound great? Right now it's 38. Let's enjoy the beautiful, terrific, wonderful Wednesday morning that we have ahead of us. It's 6 minutes right now past the hour of 7 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning wake-up call, hour number 2. Glad to be back with you behind the old microphone right here in the blue room. And boy, is it ever blue, I'll tell you. It's change of scenery here. Light, really bright blue. Good morning. Let's see what we have listed on today's death announcements. Miss Cynthia Renee Brackett, 48 of Bostic, died Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services. And again, that's Miss Cynthia Renee Brackett of Bostic. Brenda Cordell, age 68 of Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday at her residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 11 o'clock today at Sulphur Springs Baptist Church with Reverend Ron Wilkins officiating. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Brenda Cordell of Rutherfordton. Jimmy Jr. Bowen, age 61 of Rutherfordton, died Saturday at Hospice House of Forest City. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock today in the Paget and King Chapel with Reverend Don Morrison and Reverend Dennis Yelton officiating. Burial will follow in the Cool Springs Cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements, and online guest registry available at www.pagetking.com for Jimmy Jr. Bowen. Margie Annette Robbins, age 83 of Harris Henrietta Road, Mooresboro, died Sunday, March 10th at her home. Receiving of friends will be held from 2:30 until 3:30 today at Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The graveside service will be held at 4 o'clock at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery with Reverend Ronnie Robbins officiating. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements. And online guest registry available at www.harrelsonfuneralhome.com for Margie Annette Robbins. Floyd Lyle Chesterson, 84 of Rutherfordton, passed away Monday. A memorial service will be held 2 o'clock on March 14th. That's tomorrow at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, Mount Lebanon Church Road, Bostic. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Mr. Floyd Chesterson. Online condolences can be made at crowsmortuary.com. Those are the death announcements we have in house this morning. The complete information on these and others as they become available to us, we'll make them available to you this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report right here on the Most Information for the Foothills, WCAB in Rutherfordton. Well, the March Madness starts this week. We'll have games scheduled as soon as we get final clearance from Learfield Sports as to which games they're going to be feeding down to us, but we'll have all the Tar Heel games and others as well. The championship game, of course, is on Saturday evening, and we'll have that game for you as well. So stay tuned and listen to the radio version of the ACC Tournament March Madness right here. 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas from downtown Rutherfordton, beautiful downtown Whiteside Road.
Americans are dying without getting to read Mueller's report. And they're not happy about it. The people dying are not happy. This is in Newsweek, not The Onion. The article cites World War II veteran Mitchell Tendler as the prime example. At 93, this guy had survived many historic milestones. The Korean War, Vietnam, Watergate, but somehow he survived Bill Clinton's impeachment too at the hands of these dastardly Republicans. But as 2018 ended, Mr. Tendler was dying. He was on painkillers in the hospital, like Obama suggested. And then he sat up in bed and said the S word. He said, "I'm not going to see the Mueller report, am I?" he asked. Those were his last words, according to his doctors. Now, Newsweek says that Mr. Tendler's not alone. Other seasoned citizens on the verge of departing feel the same way. Their final thoughts are not of their loved ones. Oh, no. They have no parting pearls of wisdom for those they'll leave behind. In the end, they're thinking of Robert Mueller and his report. Well, thank God they'll never find out that Trump didn't really collude with the Russians. That might have killed him.
Ever wonder why Europeans seem to speak so many languages? Is it because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe? Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away, whether you're learning Spanish, French, or German. And best of all, you'll remember what you've learned.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Using Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons, you can be speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I was amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. Now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app and try it for free. That's Babbel, Babbel.com, or download the app to try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590 AM may be good for your health. Positive, family-friendly radio for the foothills.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Get your local weather at 5 past the hour here on WCAB.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
On March 15, 1881, the Benson Tombstone stage was held up. Although not intended as such, it ended up being one of the causes for the OK Corral shootout. On the other hand, the two intended objectives of the holdup were not accomplished. The main objective was the assassination of Wells Fargo shotgun guard Bob Paul. Paul had gone to work for Wells Fargo and as a guard had hampered the activities of the Cowboys. The word around town was that he was to become the Pima County Sheriff, so the Cowboys wanted to get rid of him. The assassination failed because when the stage departed Tombstone, stage driver Bud Philpott had gotten stomach pains, and Bud had exchanged positions with Paul. Orders were to kill the guard, which they did, but it was Philpott instead of Paul. Bob Paul was responsible for the robbers not accomplishing their second objective, the theft of $26,000. When Philpott was shot, Bob grabbed his shotgun and fired off both barrels. One robber was killed, and the noise of the shotgun spooked the horses. As the stagecoach was careening out of control, Paul climbed down, secured the reins, and brought the stage safely into Benson. Later, Bob Paul became the Pima County Sheriff. This 6'6", 240-pound mountain of a man, using a shotgun, brought in bad guys, stopped lynchings, and hanged many a man legally. It always seemed that he was able to dodge that fatal bullet. That is until 1893, when he couldn't dodge the one called cancer. He died on March 26, 1901. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, it's Hump Day Wednesday morning here in the foothills, 13th day of March. Let's head to the phones now and find out what's been going on the past 24 hours or so. And our first stop is with the Sheriff's Department, and Deputy Jones is on the phone with you right now to give us an update. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. What's on the report from the past 24 hours?
In the last 24, we've answered 128 calls, made 16 arrests, and currently have 161 in the jail. For our incident reports, Brianna Nealon reported a break-in into a motor vehicle, and a Maximino Vargas reported a felony larceny. For our arrest reports, we have Donna Woodard on a failure to appear, Tara Florentine on a failure to appear, Ralph Gibson on assault on a female, Tyler Thompson on a failure to appear, Michelle Wortman for communicating threats, Tyler Upton on a failure to appear, Kristen Deaton on a fugitive warrant, and Melissa Working for possession of Schedule 2, Jesse Burse on a failure to appear, and Kelsey Moore on obtaining property by false pretense. That's all I have for you.
Deputy Jones, thank you so very much for that report, and you be safe out there today.
Thank you.
See ya. And we'll get to 911 Communication Center update here in just a moment.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
Here's Carrie with the report for us from the Communication Center. Carrie, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 405 911 and administrative calls. EMS had 35. Rescue had 19. Under law enforcement, Sheriff's Office had 128. Forest City 70. Lake Lure 6. Rutherford 1021. Spindale 40. Under fire calls, Ballstick, Forest City, and Spindale all responded to a motor vehicle accident. Chimney Rock responded to an industrial fire alarm. That was all we had.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
When you call a pest control company, you want to make sure they have honest and dependable experience. Hutchins Pest Control has all those qualities and more. 45 years experience in pest control service, now including moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, dehumidification, and more. Get rid of mice, rats, wildlife, fire ants, bed bugs, and termites. Call today for residential and commercial service. 287-5171. Voted best of best for 9 years. That's Hutchins Pest Control.
Folks are talking about the Foothills closeout sale, and they're saying good things about it. The Foothills Furniture closeout sale is underway, and you can get some real bargains on some real nice furniture. Go over to 153 Sparks Drive, next door to the Hampton Inn in Forest City, and just walk around inside. Real leather sofas and chairs, marble and granite vanities, beautiful hutches, double bowl and single bowl sinks. There are 20 or more linen hutches, plenty of dining room tables, both wood and glass, traditional and contemporary furniture, plenty of table chairs, armless leather chairs, and so much more. Much of it is still in the original boxes, but at wonderful low prices. Ask them to open some of those boxes if you want to look inside, but they've got a lot of it on display out there for you to see. Just go see for yourself and see what other folks are bragging about. Foothills Furniture Clothes Store is open after lunch until about 9 p.m. Or you can call DeWitt at 447-7313 for other times. I was impressed with the store, and many folks that I know of have been impressed, and I know you will be too. That's Foothills Closeout Furniture Sale, Sparks Drive, right beside Hampton Inn, Forest City. Here's Ruby Taylor now. Ruby has a report for us from the Danieltown SDO Fire District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, got Doris Smith and Jimmy Melton having birthdays. Hope they have a nice day, and tomorrow the signs are in the arms today, going to the breast tomorrow. That's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. I do appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Health insurance is complicated, and with healthcare reform on the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
It's fertilizer time, and Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply has what you need. 17, only $13.45 for the 50-pound bag. They have in stock red Pontiac seed potatoes, Kennebec seed potatoes, and Yukon Gold potatoes. Cowlick tubs, only $49.99 for a 200-pound tub. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply now has new 100-pound propane tanks for only $124.99. Choose from a wide selection of Bonnie plants. And remember, Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply has the best deals on Diamond dog food. Check them out soon at 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. Phone them at 287-3272.
Well, I love taking a trip up to the mountains every morning right about this time. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I hope you're doing well, too. As you can hear, the blowers, just good timing here.
They time it well.
In the background. Hope they blow a lot of that pollen in the other direction.
Yeah, we need to blow that the other way, right?
I know. But, we try to get through that. It's the negative, but there's always a negative with a positive, it seems like.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyway, it's warming up a little bit, so I'll take that. And it's 39 degrees here this morning. And I think it's going to be in the middle 60s today for the warm part of the day, so we're looking forward to that. In the last 24 hours, it's been fairly quiet. Not many things going on here, except we got our road teams here and got some coming, and we're just enjoying them being here, and we're just basically getting ready for our wedding season coming up. Got plenty of it coming. Yeah. We got, I think, a record number of weddings this year in the 40s, middle
really?
40s. Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
Wonder what makes them want to do that.
I know, right? Well, I better not respond to that.
Maybe the guys are finding one as good as I've got.
There you go. That's a good part. There you go.
Good way to get out of that, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to. You got to. So, but yeah, it's been fairly quiet on the event front here. So that's a good thing. And we're moving in a positive direction, I'd say.
All right. Well, keep up the good work up there. We'll check back in with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks,
all right,
Steve.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We know your vision is so important to you, and I know you care about your vision as I do. Dr. Troy Tevis, the owner-operator of Tri-City Optometric Eye Care in Rutherford, cares about his patients, too. He cares about what's going on with your eyes. He is my personal optometrist, and he been checking my eyes for some while and discovered a cataract going on there in one of my eyes, so I had to go have that taken out. That's where I've been for the past couple of days. But thank goodness for Dr. Tevis. He discovered that, and it's amazing the difference I can see this morning. Brightness all over the place. But if you care about your eyes and you want somebody to really look and take care of what's going on, then maybe calling Dr. Tevis at 288-8662 for an appointment. Tri-City Optometric Eye Care is located at 337 North Main Street in Rutherford. And Dr. Tevis also has an office over Tryon if you're closer to Polk County. That's 486 South Trade Street. We call and set an appointment up and let him become your optometrist as well. He will make sure that he takes time explaining to you what's going on. If nothing's going on, then he'll tell you, and you'll be rest assured of that. But if there's something going on, why not find it out now? If your vision is important to you, as mine is, who you trust your vision to care should also be important. Again, that's Tri-City Optometric Eye Care at 288-8662. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Now let's Chevy on over to Hudlow Fire District and talk to Bob Hodge and get the news from that part of the county. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good morning.
How you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine on this Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, middle of the week here.
Another hump day.
Yeah, that's right. Another hump day there. But Jim up here with the fire department went to one medical call, so it's been pretty quiet with the fire department. And I want to wish Bill and Joyce Samuels a wedding anniversary this morning. And let's see, the Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Center is having a spaghetti and salad bar supper coming up Saturday. And that'll be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And also, now the 18th and 19th of this month is a good time to mow your wild onions down to stunt the growth, so
18th and 19th.
Time to mow.
18th and 19th. Okay, I'll remember that. I'll try to pass that information on over to Faye.
You got them all over the place. Yeah, there's a lot of them up this year. It's been a wet winter, and they're done growing big already there. So
they are indeed.
And rice are getting green, so it's getting about time to start mowing again. It looks like so. When the weather ever dries up enough.
Well, it's getting shortly about that time. I'll sure make sure Faye knows that so she can get started.
Yeah. But, Jim, that's about it up here. Things went along good this morning, and I hope you have a good day.
Bob, thank you. I hope you do too, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bob Hodge reporting in up at Hudlow Fire District. 7:29 this morning. There's always good things to buy at Henson Building Material, especially when they have doorbuster specials like they have this month going on. You get ready for springtime. We talk about spring is almost here. They got wheelbarrows. When I was growing up, we used to call them wheelbars. Got wheelbars. Well, these are wheelbarrows. 6 cubic feet wheelbarrows, $79.99. Special price right now at Henson Building Material. They also have a water hose. Never Kink heavy-duty hose for $19.99. You check on those. A 30-foot pocket laser distance measurer, $19.99. You'll find all kinds of good things, including a Milwaukee 4832-4014 driver bit set, 55-piece alloy steel for only $9.99. If you got a gift to give to somebody, that'd be a great gift. Or if you need to update your own tool cabinet, go by Henson Building Material because they've got some great doorbuster specials. These prices and sale prices good only through this month. Now here's Sue Price on the radio from the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Doing well. It's 7:30 over here. Is it 7:30 over there?
It is.
Okay, good.
7:30. Well, let's see. I have 36 degrees this morning, so it's not too bad out there, but it'll warm up, I guess, if the sun comes popping out, and we hope it will. It's getting daylight, so that's a good thing. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays on my church calendar, and nothing on my personal calendar today. Let's see. Fairview's got a birthday for Noah Van Dyke, so I hope he's going to have a good day today. And First Broad doesn't have anything today on their calendar, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day today and enjoy their special day. And we have no announcements. Nothing has come in. It's just one of those days when I don't have anything to announce. If any of the churches have anything coming up, they'll let me know. I'll be glad to put it on. We had a dentist appointment yesterday, both of us, and Ron took us and coming back through. We stopped at IHOP at the drop-in at Bostic, and he got us some chicken tenders and wedges, and we came home and had a good meal out of that.
Weren't they good?
Oh, yes, they're real good. So we enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So far, that's all I've got this morning, Jim. It's just quite calm over here and looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks very much, Sue. You have a great day as well, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's 7:32. The ACC tournament starts this week, and we'll notify you into which game we're going to be broadcasting. Most of them, I believe, but we're finalizing all of that with the ACC folks and Learfield Sports, but we'll have some games for you this week. It's going to be exciting.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing. You know, preventive maintenance is always a good idea for your body. Whatever's going on, be good to have some things checked out. Even if you think you're not needing anything right now, sometimes we do and we don't realize it. That's why I'm suggesting you go to Miracle Ear and get that free hearing test. Doesn't cost anything to do that, but it's a good part of that preventive maintenance. You have that free hearing test, both ears. And Lisa Terry and her team over there can explain to you what's going on in that respect. If you don't need a hearing instrument, happy you. And if you do, they can help you walk through the process of the decision-making project of deciding what's best for you. And they've got some of the best. It's a worldwide company. It's an A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. And Miracle Ear is close by. And you'll find them in Forest City, West Main Street. And the phone number is easy to remember as well. It is 368-4126. So contact Miracle Ear and have your ears checked real soon. And here's Brenda Kelly from Union Mills with the report. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome back, my friend. I missed you.
Thank you very much. I missed everybody, too. I really did.
But I'm glad everything went okay with your eye.
But I can see you a lot better now.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah. You got that big smile on your face.
Well, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
I understand.
But I dread when I have to have cataract surgery because I pass out if there's a needle close to my eye.
You don't know it.
I don't know it.
No,
Okay.
No, you won't know it. They such good perfectionists, you don't even know it. I didn't realize. I don't even think it stuck a needle there, to be honest with you. I think it just sort of deadened the eye and with some.
How did they deaden it?
Drops.
Well, I had to have something done to my eye. I can't remember if it was last summer. I believe it was last summer. They kept putting drops in my eye to deaden it, and they were cutting something off of the underside of the eyelid. I passed out.
Really?
Yeah. I passed out twice when I had to have stuff done to my eye.
Well, they'll resuscitate you.
Well, they'll have to do something. They'll have to do something. I know. That doctor said, "Laying her back in that chair and get the smelling salts." But anyway,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I dread it because I've got cataracts, but they're the slow-growing kind. But I got a feeling they're getting to the point where they might need to come off.
Well, that was true with mine. He'd been telling me sometime, you got one coming on back there. It's don't need to do that yet. But when he finally said, well, it's time to do something, so I knew I had to step forward and have it done, and I'm glad I did. I wish I'd have done it sooner.
And bite the bullet and get her done.
Let's get her done. That's right.
Well, we hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch. Birthday today, I don't have but one, and that's Kip James, and I don't have any on around here, so we hope Kip has a great old big day on his special day. In ways of announcement, Piedmont Pleasant Hill Clubhouse is going to have a spaghetti supper, and when they have this, they always have a big salad bar. That's March the 16th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Adults is $8, and 6 and under eat for free. And then we're going to have bingo March the 16th, 4:30 to 7:30. This will be at the Gilkey School Community Center, and it'll be 25 cents a card. And if they have a good turnout and people show interest in it, they may start doing this one Saturday a month. And other than that, I don't have anything going on. So it's just short, sweet, and quiet up here.
All right, Brenda, enjoy the beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one. Catch you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com. So you're in search of the perfect wooden building. Well, the search is over. J. Johnson Sales offers American-made, reliable, and sturdy products, and they can be installed in as little as 30 days. No credit check, and they have financing available. All buildings are custom-made, and they'll even deliver to you free with setup. J. Johnson is committed to the service even after the sale. They want you to be a lifelong customer and friend. They do business the old-fashioned way. Stop by and see them at 2690 U.S. Highway 221 South in Forest City, or call them at 828-245-5895. The American pride of Rutherford County is J. Johnson Sales. That phone number again is 245-5895. They got your building. Come see. Now it's time to go to Ellenboro. Talk with Luther Gilligan about the news from over there. It's 7:39. Luther, how you doing this morning?
Doing great downtown Ellenboro, where you live and do without things you haven't had.
Amen, brother. Well,
enjoy life.
I know
coffee is good.
I know
biscuits are good.
I know they couldn't do without you over there, so I'm glad you're there.
No, they couldn't do without me. Sometimes some of them might just find out, though. But hey, we get by. We doing good down here. But it's quiet this morning. Nothing going on this morning. See, the fire department had one call. Had it about 5 o'clock. Well, about 4:30 yesterday. Other than that, they've been quiet all night. Got to sleep last night. Didn't have to go out anywhere. No medical calls, no falls, no wrecks, no nothing. Said we're good. Everything is quiet this morning. Don't have any birthdays. Nothing else going on down here. You have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
All right, take care now.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, it's birthdays today for the 13th of March. March 13th. It's not a Friday, thank goodness, but it is the 13th. If you're celebrating today, call us. Todd's standing by out there to take that call at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll put all the names into a drawing for some delicious daylight donuts from Granny B's. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up.
JD and Marie Shook have lost their minds, or they've just got the New Year spirit. Starting now, every time you visit the Recliner Center, you can register to win a brand spanking new recliner. A recliner will be given away every month from now and just whenever. All you have to do is go to the Recliner Center and register. Now, after the drawing, the names will be tossed out, and at the beginning of the month, a new box will be ready for you to register again. So don't miss out on your chance to win a recliner from the Recliner Center. This is JD and Marie's way of saying thank you to all their friends and customers for making them a success for over 30 years. Don't forget to check out the Spring Air bedding. Doctors tell us a good night's sleep is very important for energy and stamina. Shouldn't you be resting better this year and having more energy? Spring Air bedding and a chance to win a recliner. And the Recliner Center will now be opening on Mondays and Tuesdays. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton. When you need daycare services for your adult loved one, Rutherford Life Services is always there for a dependable and loving environment. Rutherford Life offers a place to go during the daytime for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and creative activities. Caregivers can go to work knowing that their loved one is in a safe and reliable place. Rutherford Life is licensed by the North Carolina Division of Aging. Rutherford Life has a full staff of trained professionals who show love and support. Call them today and let them answer any questions you may have concerning adult daycare services. 828-288-1697 or visit the facility at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
So when you're ready to downsize your home and move to a safe, friendly community, let me recommend Eastwood Village. What a beautiful adult community in a private neighborhood designed for active people who desire privacy, security, independence, and maintenance-free living. I like that maintenance-free living part, don't you? Eastwood Village consists of 37 homes located just 2 miles east of Forest City on Highway 74 Business. Eastwood homes are privately owned and self-governed by a board which consists of only homeowners. Eastwood homeowners take pride in a beautiful, spacious clubhouse, outdoor pool, large gazebo, great neighbors. You get health care on site, 24-hour emergency nursing service, meals are available, and so much more. If you like being with active adults who enjoy a private country setting and live in your own home, you should contact Eastwood Village Senior Adult Community right away. Let me arrange a personal tour for you and see for yourself. Call John Salone or Mike McKeithen at 828-245-1995. I know you'll love it. Again, that's 245-1995. Tell them Jim said to show you around.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
You can know a successful business by the company they keep and the years of service to their customers. That's Southern Carpet and Hardwood Floors. Since 1993, Gerald and Lynn Toney have set out to offer the best products at affordable prices and ensure their customers are satisfied. Their son Clayton joined the business when he was old enough to look over the display cases, and he's been impressing customers ever since. The company, Southern Carpet, keeps and includes some of the best: Bruce Hardwood, Appalachian Hardwood, Armstrong Vinyl, Shaw Carpet, Carpet, and many more you'll recognize. Southern Carpet has the largest selection of hardwoods and laminates in the area. Check with them when you want something done to your floors. Free estimates and expert installation. Drop by and see them at 1512 West Main Street in Forest City, right across from North State Gas. Look them up on Facebook and check out their website at www.southerncarpet.net.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Levi Wilson this morning. He's a 7-year-old student, goes to Thomas Jefferson Classic Academy. Caleb Ogden is 14 down in Cliffside. Betty Crowder over in Rutherfordton's having a birthday today. Also having a birthday is Chip James. So happy birthday to all these folks. So we want to wish them a happy birthday. And good luck in the drawing for some delicious Daylight Donuts. And those donuts should be coming out of the oven over there right about now at Granny B's. We'll find out who's going to get them in just a moment. Jessica Rumfeld, Jessica Morrison, 27. Chloe Rumfeld, 5 yesterday, having birthdays also today.
Leadership is made up of a number of important qualities, but true leadership can be summed up in the ability to influence others toward a desired goal. Robert E. Lee possessed this power of influence. On one occasion, the great Confederate general unexpectedly visited a group of his soldiers on the eve of an important battle. Riding his famous white horse Traveler, Lee provided an imposing figure to the soldiers standing for review. There was a stealthy quietness. No one spoke a word. Immediately following the review, the great general left. Suddenly, a young soldier from Georgia, who was caught up in the excitement of the moment, shouted out, "Now then, after what the general has said, will you fight or won't you?" The great general had not spoken a word, but his mere presence brought a dying devotion to his followers. It was not the power of his uniform, but the power of his character that motivated his men. Persuasive leadership is the most effective leadership possible. Leaders in name only, or because they have been given a position, soon discover that people don't always follow someone they don't respect. On the other hand, someone who has proven capable and won the hearts of their followers can lead a group where the positional leader only dreams about taking people. Give people your heart and prove yourself capable, and you will be amazed how effective your leadership can be. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Congratulations are in order to Levi Wilson, 7-year-old student at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. He's like your name was drawn out. He gets the donut from Granny B's this morning. Levi will have that certificate over here at our studios on Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. Stop by, get that certificate, and go claim your donuts. I know you will enjoy them. Coming up next hour, we have news from here and there. Bottom of the hour, 8:30, Word of Faith continues to speak out, giving their side of all the stuff that's going on out there. They'll talk about that right here live exclusively on WCAB. Following that, at 9 o'clock today, we continue down the road of memories on the classic oldies like this one.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of the best classic oldies here on WCAB. Unless, of course, you're driving, then keep your eyes on the road.
In the jingle jangle morning. Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590 AM may be good for your health. Positive, family-friendly radio for the foothills.
Across the USA, then everybody be surfing like California. You'd see them wearing their baggies, Warachi sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. You'll catch them surfing at Del, Ventura County line, Santa Cruz and Trestle, Australia's Caribbean, all over Manhattan, and down Doheny Way. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. We'll all be planning out a route we're gonna take real soon. We're waxing down our surfboard, we can't wait for June. We'll all be gone for the summer, we're on safari to stay. Tell the teacher we're surfing, surfing USA. And Anchor Keys and Swan, Pacific Palisades, outside USA, San Onofre and Sun, Redondo Beach, LA, outside USA, all over La Jolla, at Waimea Bay, outside, everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Yeah, everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Yeah, everybody's gone surfing.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Ethiopia says it is sending the black boxes from last weekend's deadly plane crash overseas for analysis. We don't yet know to which country, however. This is an ever-growing list of countries, and airlines are grounding or banning the aircraft involved. Some pilots were worried, we found out, after the Lion Air crash last fall.
We've learned there have been reports of concerns. 2 U.S. MAX pilots telling authorities in November that the nose of their plane suddenly dipped after engaging the autopilot. Another pilot also anonymously complaining about a lack of training for the new aircraft. The FAA says there are no verified incidents in the U.S. similar to the first crash, and it has no basis to order grounding of the newest version of the 737.
That's ABC News senior transportation correspondent David Curley. Former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort faces up to 10 years in prison when he is sentenced again today, this time for obstruction and conspiracy in the Russia probe. Manafort got nearly 4 years behind bars last week in another case, far below government guidelines. The judge today will decide whether his sentences will run at the same time. The House today debates a resolution expressing the sense that the special counsel's Russia probe should be made available to the public and to Congress. And what's on tap for President Trump?
President Trump receives a briefing this afternoon on drug trafficking on the southern border. This after the president, in his budget proposal, called for Congress to approve $8.6 billion for a border wall. The president and his administration often point to the flow of drugs as a reason why a border wall is necessary. But according to data from the Drug Enforcement Administration, the majority of drugs entering the U.S. comes through ports of entry at the border. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
In court today, actress Lori Loughlin, one of dozens of wealthy parents accused in a multi-million-dollar college admissions cheating scam. California today halting executions, essentially a symbolic move. The last prisoner put to death there 13 years ago. You're listening to ABC News.
It's time.
Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
A former advisor to Pope Francis is going to prison.
A 6-year sentence handed down to Australian Cardinal George Pell. He's the most senior member of the Catholic Church convicted of child sex abuse. Victoria State Court Chief Judge Peter Kidd to Pell at his sentencing.
The brazenness of your conduct is indicative of your sense of authority and power in relation to the victims.
Those victims were 13.
At some point during the episode, you even told your victims to be quiet because they were crying.
The father of one victim who committed suicide says he may sue Pell and the church. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's day 7 of a widespread blackout in Venezuela, embattled President Nicolas Maduro blaming hackers backed by the U.S.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo came out and said the U.S. played no role in this. And he said what has happened here is Maduro's, quote, incompetence. And people who have studied the electoral system here in Venezuela, outside critics say that there's been essentially a brain drain in every industry in Venezuela, including when it comes to power. And when problems occur, if you don't fix these problems quickly, then bigger problems occur. And that's essentially what's happened here.
That's ABC's Tom Yamas in Caracas, Venezuela. It's another big day for Brexit. British lawmakers voting on a no-deal departure from the European Union after rejecting Prime Minister Theresa May's much-maligned plan on Tuesday. A likely no vote makes it increasingly look like Brexit, less than 3 weeks away, will be delayed. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Sherry Press.
All aboard! Now is the perfect time to stop into Jesse James Railroad Express for the most delicious burgers, clubs, hot dogs, fresh salads, taco salads, chicken, tuna plates, and so much more. All orders are prepared fresh daily with made-to-order ingredients. Also pick up a delicious cup of coffee, hand-dipped milkshake, or a fresh donut. Hours Monday through Saturday, 8 to 4. Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Jesse James Railroad Express has been voted best hot dogs and hamburgers for Rutherford County 2 years in a row. Stop by and enjoy your meal from Jesse James Railroad Express today.
You'll need the sunglasses across the foothills, especially for the first half of the day, as we do have sunny skies on tap. Those clouds are expected to build in by the afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 60s. It will be a little bit more warmer off towards the east. Clouds stick around into the night. Temperatures fall into the mid 40s. We'll have those highs a little bit warmer in the mid to upper 60s by the afternoon on Thursday. Rain chances moving in by Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Thanks so much. It's 38 degrees here at our vantage point in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. 38 degrees, warming up to 63 for a daytime high, and mostly clear skies like it is about right now, I think. And then tonight, mostly cloudy. It starts clouding up for the rain to come back on Thursday night, Friday, and then clearing out here again for Saturday. Looks like right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls everywhere, looks like we're going to have a beautiful weekend. Perfect for grass cutting, right? Saturday, mostly sunny, highs around 55. A little wind gusting to 13 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly sunny with light wind and highs around 55. And Monday, mostly sunny, highs around 58, light wind. And Tuesday, only partly cloudy with highs around 55 and light wind. So once we get past the rain for Thursday and Friday, clear sailing ahead. I like the sound of a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Congratulations to Levi Wilson. He's a 7-year-old student, goes to Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy, and he ripped us off with the donuts this morning from Granny B's. He was a lucky name that was drawn from the box, said he now will soon be the owner of some delicious daylight donuts just out of the oven. Just a bit to go over there. If you're having a lunch somewhere, try Granny B's subs. You'll enjoy those too. And then top it off with one of their donuts or petit four. Those petit fours are outstanding. We have a lot to pack in this hour, so let's get moving. Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherford. Again, that's 287-3338.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt at Insurance Service Associates, about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Now let's look at some stories from here and there, some of the stories being printed in today's edition of the Daily Courier. Remember that inmate that walked away from the Spindale prison unit the other day? An investigation has been underway into that prison escape and found the inmate scaled a fence, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. An investigation has determined offender Jeremy Keith Fincannon escaped from Rutherford County Correctional Center February 21st by scaling a fence, according to John Bull, a spokesperson. This is a minimum security facility where offenders are prepared for reentry to society on completion of their prison terms. Prison officials found Fincannon, 22, missing around 7:30 a.m. after a routine account of offenders. Less than 6 hours later, Fincannon was back in custody after authorities was with the NCPDS and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, along with the help of a K-9 unit, found the escapee walking along the road about 1 mile from the facility. Although Fincannon was slated for release in September, he'll likely have time added to his sentence while also being moved to a higher custody facility. He didn't want out very bad, did he? Want to go back in. As a result of his actions, this offender was charged with escape. His first court appearance was on February 22nd, the day after his escape. If convicted, he faces additional prison time. Fincannon was serving a term of 5 years and 6 months as a habitual felon. After convictions for assault, he was admitted to prison January 25th, 2017. Due to get out in just a few months, he walked away. Now his term has been extended. Well, a new assistant public defender was sworn in last week, joining the staff of the recently created Rutherford County office. Jacob D. Harwood comes to the local PD's office from the office representing Chatham and Orange County. After only a week on the job, he's already working with a caseload, filing motions and arguing to court. He has a specific interest in indigent defense because he said the imbalance in capital makes it difficult for the defendant to put up a meaningful fight up against their charges. He is now being sworn in by the clerk of court, Steve Owens. ROC and ICC, the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition, and isotherm are going to be partnering together to offer Hiking 101 course in spring. Hiking 101 course, you get credit for hiking. Seems like that's going to be an up-and-coming thing. So if you're interested in that, check with the ICC and see what develops from that. Other news from here and there this morning, a man accidentally shot himself in the hand while unloading his weapon at the Foothills Public Shooting Complex. The incident happened around 2:50 p.m. Sunday while the 35-year-old man was shooting at a range 2, a 20-yard pistol range. He was using a Smith & Wesson SD-40 at the time. The man was transported by ambulance to Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby with non-life-threatening injuries. The man was administered first aid on site until an ambulance arrived. The Foothills Public Shooting Complex closed following that incident temporarily. The man's wife was present when the incident occurred and told officials that it was an accidental shooting. Safety is our top priority. We saddened that someone was accidentally injured, County Manager Brian Epley said. We're sending our best wishes to the man and his family, and we hope he makes a full recovery. According to Cleveland County spokesperson Janet Hart, one of the primary safety protocols in place at the shooting complex is that individuals cannot bring their weapons in already loaded. Visitors are instructed to load and unload their weapon in the range lane from which they will be shooting. First-time visitors are required to watch a safety video prior to shooting at the complex. According to Hart, this was the second time the man was involved had visited the complex. Other safety measures include each range having a range officer present while the range is open and concrete walls between the shooting lanes of each range. Those protocols reduce the potential for staff or other visitors to be injured in the event of an accident. Meanwhile, the Shelby Daily Star is reporting that an NFL veteran says the city of Shelby and its manager shot down his business proposal because he is African American. Former Carolina Panther Willie Green is suing the city of Shelby and city manager Rick Howell. In the lawsuit, Green describes his efforts to open a sports complex in which he plans to form a public-private partnership with local government. After 2 years of discussion and correspondence, Green's proposal was rejected, the lawsuit says. The city has filed a motion to dismiss the case. In that motion, the city says Green was never given assurances that the city intended to partner with him to build a sports complex. The decision came down to a financial feasibility and public benefit, according to documents filed by the city attorney. Green is the head of 5 Star Athletes. In a previous interview with the Star, he said he envisioned opening a sports complex and he wanted to get local government involved in that project. He made a proposal to Howell and Shelby Mayor Stan Anthony. The first proposal involves using part or all of Hollyoak Park. When discussions failed to form an agreement, Green bought some property nearby, but city leaders still didn't agree to the project. Green made another attempt to collaborate in early 2018 to no avail. In November, he filed a lawsuit. Well, there is a proposed bill in action there in Raleigh allowing teachers to be sworn law officers. If teachers would like to carry concealed weapons classes, they can do that. Senator Ralph Heiss of Mitchell and Representative Rutherford as well, and Warren Daniel, Representative Burke, and Jerry Tillman of Randolph filed the School Security Act of 2019, which would establish up to 3,000 teachers, resource officers positions to protect North Carolina public school students, the teachers, and personnel. Senate Bill 192 was developed with the cooperation of the NC Sheriff's Association and will enable the teachers interested in helping secure the schools' facilities to complete basic law enforcement training, BLET, and earn certification as teacher resource officers. Teacher resource officers would be sworn law enforcement officers under the jurisdiction of the local law enforcement agency and would have the same authority as other law enforcement officers while on school grounds. Under that proposal, the State Department of Public Instruction would partner with the UNC Board of Governors to provide grant funding for teacher resource officers, candidates to complete basic law enforcement training. So it's going to be something to be discussed, whether or not you would like your teachers to become resource officers from training, take the BLET. There's extra money in the budget, I think, for them to do that, pay-wise, if they want to take on that responsibility. They would be resource officers as well as teachers. So that is in the makings there in Raleigh now. You'll hear more of that as it unfolds. 60 minutes after 8 o'clock right here on WCAB in Rutherford. Again, congratulations to Levi Wilson, 7-year-old student at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. He won the donuts this morning. We have the Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a few moments with Deputy Jones. Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
Hi from Smith Drugs in downtown Forest City. Go to our Facebook page and check our daily sale items in the gift shop on a variety of items to include clothing, shoes, toys, books, jewelry, just to name a few, or come in and see for yourself and save on these sale items. Also, don't forget our daily breakfast specials at $3.99 and our lunch specials at $5.99 in the old-fashioned soda fountain. After 3 p.m., ice cream and desserts only will be served until close Monday through Saturday. Our home medical department has a number of products, including CPAPs and supplies for those CPAPs, lift chairs, seating cushions, walkers, and canes, besides diabetic shoes and mastectomy services. And last, go to our new website at smithsdrugsfc.com and see all the new changes we have made, including our mobile app, which can and will save you time on refills of medications. Or you can simply come in and we can show you how to go to our website and download that mobile app on your smartphone. Thank you for all that you do in supporting Smith Drugs, downtown Forest City at 139 East Main Street.
18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Hey, you know, this year's moving on fast. It's already mid-March. And if you have not yet been to the new home of Cozy Home, let me invite you there in downtown Forest City. They're right in the lower level of Graham Cash Company. They still offer the same Cozy Home low prices, and they got some outstanding new items coming in all the time, such as the genuine Turkish bath towels, hand towels, and bath sheets, good quality. They have comforters, 86 by 86, only $15. Towel sets are $15. Kids play mats, $10. Ladies spa robes, $10. On and on we could go. They have memory foam mattress now. Yes, Cozy Home has memory foam mattresses, all made in America. They're also a great line of quilts, cotton towels, decor pillows, spa robes for men and ladies. Cozy Home makes saving easy. Saving money so easy. If you just go by there and look around, tell them you want to look around. You heard Jim talking about the new home, and you just want to look around, see what they got. You too will be impressed. I guarantee it. Located right inside Graham Cash, the lower level in downtown Forest City. Cozy Home now has a new home. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, Deputy Jones of the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department gave us the report earlier this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Deputy Jones?
In the last 24, we've answered 128 calls, made 16 arrests, and currently have 161 in the jail. For our incident reports, Brianna Nealon reported a break-in into a motor vehicle, and a Maximino Vargas reported a felony larceny. For our arrest reports, we have Donna Woodard on a failure to appear, Tara Florentine on a failure to appear, Ralph Gibson on assault on a female, Tyler Thompson on a failure to appear, Michelle Wortman for communicating threats, Tyler Upton on a failure to appear, Kristen Deaton on a fugitive warrant, and Melissa Working for possession of Schedule 2, Jesse Burse on a failure to appear, and Kelsey Moore on obtaining property by false pretense. That's all I have for you.
NCN Sports. Day one of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament completed in Charlotte yesterday.
March Madness. It's all happening.
Yeah. It certainly is. In the opening game, Miami dumped the Demon Deacons 79-71.
They came out and made more plays than us, and we didn't get the win that we desired or wanted.
In the matinee, Notre Dame snapped a 7-game losing streak with a 78-71 win over Georgia Tech. 14-seeded Pitt, they won the nightcap, their second straight game. Since snapping a 13-game losing skid, the Panthers topped Boston College 80-70. The U, Fighting Irish, and Panthers all moving on to play in today's second round, which opens at noon with 8-seed NC State tipping off against number 9-seed Clemson. The Wolfpack definitely on a bubble. Torrin Dorn on State's chances.
We were fortunate to be able to, make shots down the stretch in the last game. So this game, I feel like will be a hard-fought game.
Bracketologists believe a loss to Clemson today would all but kill their chances for a thumbs up from the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. In today's midday doubleheader, 5-seed Virginia Tech will tip off against Miami. That'll be followed by 7-seeded Louisville going against Notre Dame. Pitt will face 6th-seeded Syracuse in the nightcap. Elsewhere in college hoops, St. Mary's University has punched its ticket to the NCAA tournament with last night's shocking upset over number 21 Gonzaga. They beat the Zags in the Western Conference Championship 50-47, snapping their 21-game winning streak. One of New York's NFL teams is getting a star while the other is sans one. A person with direct knowledge of negotiations says the Jets and former Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell have agreed on a 4-year deal worth $52.5 million. Meanwhile, receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is heading to the Cleveland Browns. The Giants, in exchange, getting a 1st and 2nd round pick, along with safety Jabril Peppers. This is NCN Sports.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to Charlotte. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradestateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T and Harris Teeter. For more information, visit PoweradestateGames.org.
Some college coaches have been caught up in a nationwide college admissions bribery scheme involving wealthy parents. William Rick Singer of Newport Beach, California, pleaded guilty in Boston federal court yesterday to charges including racketeering, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. Wake Forest University is among the schools where coaches accepted bribes in exchange for admitting students as athletes. FBI Special Agent in charge Joseph Bonavolante yesterday.
This is not a case where parents were acting in the best interests of their children. This is a case where they flaunted their wealth to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy.
During an initial court appearance yesterday in Greensboro, Wake Forest women's volleyball coach William Ferguson was advised of his rights after being charged with racketeering conspiracy. Earlier in the day, Wake Forest put out a statement saying it's retained outside legal counsel and placed Ferguson on administrative leave. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
You'll need the sunglasses across the foothills, especially for the first half of the day, as we do have sunny skies on tap. Those clouds are expected to build in by the afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 60s. It will be a little bit more warmer off towards the east. Clouds stick around into the night. Temperatures fall into the mid 40s. We'll have those highs a little bit warmer in the mid to upper 60s by the afternoon on Thursday. Rain chances moving in by Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We have 38 degrees currently under beautiful clear skies on this Wednesday morning. We've got a beautiful day set up all day today. A little rain coming back in the forecast, and the weekend is looking good too. We do have some ACC basketball coming up. Stand by for the details on that. ACC March Madness is underway starting last night, I believe, and it'll continue through Saturday night with a championship game, and we'll have most of those games on right here on WCAB 100.9 FM 590 AM. It is 8:30. Welcome to The Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, Rutherford County, and those that are listening this morning. It's so good to be with you. I'm Carol Reynolds, and this is Connie Davies in the Blue Room here at WCAB. And it's been such an honor to come to you every week and share our hearts and share the truth about the Word of Faith Fellowship. And it's been our pastor's heart and the heart of our congregation to come to you for you to know the truth in our hearts and what's really happened at the Word of Faith Fellowship. You've heard a lot from the media. You've heard a lot what the AP had to say about the church and what's gone on. And we wanted you to hear from us what's happened in the church and what's happened in our lives. And we have a special honor and a blessing for you today, because we're going to talk about something that's happened at the Word of Faith that was such a miracle. It shocked us.
It shocked
and
us.
It continues to shock us.
Yes, it does.
Because we had absolutely no idea what happened among us, had no even understanding when it began to start to happen, what was taking place and what was going to unfold among us, that has gone all over the world, had international recognition, recognition in our own country, recognition in Washington, D.C. In Israel, and we're part of a congressional record in Washington, D.C. The work of our students at the Word of Faith Christian School is part of the congressional record in Washington, D.C. And we had no idea, Connie, that the Word of Faith Fellowship Christian School would have a Holocaust museum. And
well, I told Carol this morning, I said, back several years ago when we had our Holocaust museum, it's a traveling museum. We were in Washington, D.C., and a man comes up to me and said, Connie, who planned all of this? Who's the master planner around this? And I was kind of taken back, and I thought, master planner, who thought? And all of a sudden, I thought, God had the plan. This was like an Abraham experience. When God came to Abraham back in the book of Genesis, he said, Abraham, pick up your tent, get your family, and go to a place that I will show you. I said, it kind of happened like that. It's like we didn't know where we were going on a journey with a Holocaust museum. We just started with what God gave us and started working on a museum, little by little, with our young people, with our children, and before we know it, it's become a nationally known museum that travels, internationally known now, and it was God's plan. It wasn't our plan. It wasn't anything that we formulated or we sat down at a table and said, oh, let's put this together. Let's have a special project for our children. God had something in mind, and it was far beyond anything we would have ever planned.
And Connie, if we go back to the beginning, we actually can't go back to that story without talking about Congressman Charles Taylor.
Exactly.
Because Congressman Charles Taylor brought into North Carolina a program of the Library of Congress, The Adventures of the American Mind. And I don't believe the majority of Western North Carolina does not realize what Congressman Charles Taylor brought into our region with education. And Connie and I were honored to be a part of that. The Word of Faith Christian School was one of the 6 pilot schools in the nation, and that was around 2000, Connie?
Yes. We got involved with the program. We were invited in 2000. We got involved, I think, in 2001.
And we began to hear about it at meetings and his initiatives. Still today, his work in education, his work among the veterans,
and especially in Western North Carolina, is unbelievable.
Still to this day.
Absolutely.
It still stands. And I mean, the man has a legacy that's unbelievable. And I know in our education, I see it still everywhere we go, we see it. And we began to hear about this program and this grant that was coming into Western North Carolina for education. And he began to talk to teachers, and we began to hear teachers talk about it. And teachers were being invited to apply into a program where they could come and be educated and bringing the resources. Now remember, this is going back quite a number of years. This is back in 2000, 2001. And teachers were being invited to apply into a program and learn technology and how to bring the resources of the Library of Congress into the classroom.
Using primary sources, which we know right now in education, They're getting away from going to the real source, and history's being rewritten right now. And we've always wanted to go to the truth.
Right.
What is the truth of history? What really happened? And what better way to find out than to go right to the original source? The primary source is that of the Library of Congress.
And of course, President Trump's administration has mandated to the Department of Education to go back to primary source education. And so we're absolutely thrilled about that, because we've done it for years and years at the Board of Faith Christian School. So Connie and I, with a lot of
fear and trepidation
and encouragement from the congressman and his staff and many, many others, and excited teachers that we knew even in the county and other places that were getting involved in this program, we applied and were accepted and went into a master's level program on education, technology, and primary sources with the Library of Congress.
And at this time, listeners must know that we had hardly ever even put our hand to a computer. Not only did we have to learn how to access primary sources and study those, we had to learn how to get in there and get the information on a computer. We were not trained. I mean, we're from the baby boomer. We're
paper and pen generation.
Paper and pen generation. And so we had a lot to learn. And like I've told some people, the learning curve for this was not steep. It was straight up. We had a lot to learn. So
even our pastors came to Connie and I and said, sounds like a really great program. It'd be great for you all to do this. So we had all this encouragement, and but we're the paper and pen generation.
Yeah, right.
But it was amazing. It changed our lives. And the encouragement in the program, the resources were unbelievable. It revolutionized what we were doing in the Christian school. The colleagues, the relationships, the educators we met in public, private, homeschool, charter school education were just unbelievable. And so we began just to change so much in, our education at the Christian school. Of course, we had already been in the midst of persecution since, the late 80s all the way into the 90s, and especially the big persecution that been international against the church in 1995 with the Inside Edition programs and all of that. That had been such a part of our life. Exactly. But true biblical Christianity, according to the book of Acts, you'll notice the Apostle Paul didn't go on a vacation. He didn't stop with the persecution of the church. He kept building. He kept preaching. He kept growing. The church kept growing. And that's the story at the Word of Faith Fellowship. Our pastors never stopped. They never slowed down. They never quit. The church kept growing. We kept building. We kept growing. And we kept doing the same at our church. And we started making projects. At that time, our students started doing massive research projects, and our students' projects became part of the congressional record for the adventures of the American mind. Exactly. Connie and I received certificates from the Library of Congress as primary source educators and specialists, and we kept going in that direction. Well, when the persecution became so serious against the church, and we began getting boycotts against the businesses, we were called names out in public. I remember one time going into a store in the county with my daughters, and people barked like dogs at us when we walked into the store. And, they were calling us woofers at the time. And it's just a series of events that we've told some of you listeners that happened to us when we would go out in the county, and many, many other things, from our houses graffitiing and all those things that were very, very, very personal to us and personal to our children that they knew about, and it happened to them and happened to us and to our families, and the boycotts of our businesses and all these different things. And one day, our pastor Jane came to me and she said, "Carol, this sounds like the very, just the beginnings of what happened to the Jewish people during the Holocaust." And it was during that time that we knew that God was going to require us to speak out. Our pastors, Sam and Jane, are full of the love of God, and they've turned the cheek many turned the other cheek many years. But we knew that God was going to have us speak out the truth, because the things that were being said about us were not true. And of course, you've heard the story from the attorneys and different people in our church that went through the federal lawsuit, and what we had to do when we took the federal lawsuit with the state of North Carolina and the Rutherford County Department of Social Services, and the outcome there. And we began to study the history of the Jewish people, and we've been taught about the Jewish people since the very beginning of our church. Our pastors have taught us about the Jewish people and the love of the Word of God and the love of the Jewish people from the Scriptures. We knew what the Bible says from the book of Genesis all the way through. And we began to study the Holocaust. And from mine and Connie's background in studying based on primary source documentation, we began the study of World War II, and we began teaching it in our classrooms at the Christian school. And our students began to put the primary source documentation, history, and building projects to go along with what they were studying.
Now, one thing to think about, one of the reasons why the children were interested in this subject as we began to teach and study it is because they themselves could identify with some of those earlier signs of persecution against the Jewish people. Mm-hmm. Some of these children, homes had been vandalized. They knew the threats that were coming. They had been out in public. They had had things said to them, gestures made toward them that were very intimidating. Mm-hmm. And so they identified with this history. So it was not difficult for them to find interest in this subject of what happened to the Jewish people.
They also, Connie, had understood the history of World War II. Exactly. And I have never in my lifetime, I come from a family of World War II veterans. My dad is a World War II veteran. They understood the stand that the United States of America took against evil.
Exactly.
Our generals, our world leaders at that time that stood up against evil. And the Bible says that the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. And so they begin to understand, and you don't meet a veteran of the United States. If you see their hats and you're out in public, thank them. If you see a veteran of the United States military, especially World War II, because you don't see very many of them. And they began to hear from World War II veterans and the understanding of taking a stand against evil. They understood that. And so they began to make projects. They began to hear about the Jewish children that perished in the ghettos, and we would do presentations in our church, and our church would come together, and the students would give reports on the ghettos and what happened to the Jewish people, and the starvation, and the wearing of the yellow star, and being deported, being called names, and taking away of their property, confiscation of their goods, and all the different things that happened to the Jewish people in the Holocaust. And pretty soon, our hallways started to fill up with pictures, beautiful paintings, children that never had been taught to paint, children that never had been taught to sculpture and model. We used Crayola model magic. You can buy it at Walmart. And we didn't know at that time, Connie, that we would be loading 3 18-wheelers. To travel and take these art projects that these students had made at a Christian school. At that time, we had about 125 students, to places to display at the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. with 10,000 square feet, and we filled it.
That's right.
We now have over 600 pieces of art that have been made by the students at the Word of Faith Christian School, and students that have even gone on into their college education and want to make art of the Holocaust. The Spirit of the Lord came upon these children. When you see it, you can't deny it. Yeah. You cannot deny it. Yeah. When you see what they have done.
Exactly.
Children who had no education in art, they had no education in how to paint, how to use oil paintings, how to sculpture. Right. We had a question one day about the model magic. We were having a little problem with it. I said, well, let me call them. The students came to me and said, Mrs. Reynolds, this is, or it's cracking or doing whatever, there's a problem here. So we called Crayola Model Magic. And I said, we use your product and we got a problem. So she was talking to me, and I told her what we did with their Crayola Model Magic, and I don't know that she really believed me. And so she looked up our website, and she said, oh, I see what you're doing with our product. Ma'am, let me assign you a customer number. And she couldn't believe it. And one of the reasons that we chose the Crayola Model Magic, we did not know it at the time, but if it cracks or it breaks, it can be repaired instantly. And so if we get there and an arm's fallen off or a leg's fallen off, the students repair it immediately. And they began to sculpt pictures from the Holocaust. They began to look at pictures from Auschwitz concentration camp. And if our listeners don't know about Auschwitz concentration camp, it was the largest of the death camps It had four gas chambers and crematorium ovens. Those gas chambers could gas up to 3,000. The commandant of Auschwitz says, oh, it wasn't 3,000. We gassed up to 5,000 a day in those at a time in those gas chambers. It was the size of 5,000 American football fields. It was half the size of Manhattan. Our students began to look at pictures that were taken of Jews that arrived at Auschwitz. And they began to sculpt the figures of Jews that arrived at Auschwitz. They began to paint pictures of Jews that were deported to ghettos. We have life-size sculptures in our museum located on Shiloh Road in Forest City. Life-size Jewish people who were deported to Warsaw, Poland, the ghetto at Warsaw, the largest of the Nazi ghettos. I tell the students they had two policies the Nazis enacted at Warsaw. One was called clean violence, which was mass starvation. Starvation as a weapon of war. We don't have to touch them. We don't have to be near them. We don't need any weapons. We don't need bullets. We don't need anything. We will starve them to death. That's why so many of the pictures you see of the Jewish people totally emaciated. They starved them to death. That was a weapon of war. We see it in Syria. We saw it in Iraq. We saw it under ISIS. We see it under different countries. Starvation as a weapon of war. The other policy they enacted was natural wastage. That is a translation from the German to English. Natural wastage. That was conditions so appalling, so horrific that a human being couldn't survive. Communicable disease designed for human beings to die. And the students saw the pictures of these human beings that were put in these conditions, deliberately calculated to kill human beings.
Exactly. And what we stress is that this was done by a plan of the government.
Yes, Connie.
It was systematic, bureaucratic extermination of an innocent people. No reason for it except for the fact they were Jewish. That was it. State-sponsored.
And the shocking thing was, and still is that we have eyewitnesses still alive that can testify as a first-hand eyewitness that this happened.
And you know, Carol, I'm reminded some of our conversations that we've had with Holocaust survivors, one in particular, Irene Mermelstein. You know, a lot of people say that this could never happen. This is just too horrific. No way that this would have happened. I mean, 6 million people, just no way that would happen. And, you know, it's disturbing when you know the facts. You see the primary sources. You've got all the evidence you ever need to prove.
And eyewitness World War II veterans that live in Rutherford County.
Exactly.
That saw it.
That saw it. And I went to Irene one time. She was a Holocaust survivor that was in Auschwitz. And I said, Irene, I can't believe that anybody would ever deny the Holocaust. There's so much evidence. And she explained to me what she felt about that. She said, Connie, I know what you mean. But she said, I was there. It happened to me. And it was so bad. It's hard for me to even believe it actually happened. It was so bad. There's no words to describe the horrific experience that those people had during the Holocaust.
And Connie, we had no idea the love and the blessing and the honor where God was going to use us to touch the Jewish people. Exactly. We had no idea. And it has been such a life-changing, I mean, our whole church is involved in this ministry to the Jewish people. Mm-hmm. We've taken, hundreds of us have gone to different places where we have done exhibitions in community centers, colleges, universities, events in different states, different places, and reached out and been a blessing to the Jewish people. We love you. We're standing with you. Yes. And it has been so precious to watch the healing when they've come and seen the honor that our students give to their families, to the history, to our veterans, yes. To say thank you to our veterans for the hell and the evil that you walked right into the midst of for us, and the freedom that you fought for us, and the gratitude that we have. We had no idea that our students were going to be used by God to do this. Exactly. And it's brought such a healing to the Jewish people. And then on top of all of that, our students sing in Hebrew. They sing in the Hebrew language, and they learn to sing Hebrew via Skype. And taught by a man in Israel who is such a excellent speaker and translator in the Hebrew language, and taught our students how to sing Hebrew. And you can imagine when we go to events and exhibitions we've done, and here comes students from Rutherford County, North Carolina, and we sing Hebrew to the Jewish people, and they are absolutely amazed.
And this gentleman is so precious. He's such a dear friend. He actually says that he is our associate Jew. We've claimed him, he's claimed us, and our bond is so tight.
And Connie, look at the love.
The love of God.
And there are people, anti-Semitism is on such a rise. It's not here at the Word of Faith Fellowship.
Absolutely.
We have such love and so many relationships between the Jewish people, and we're Christian people.
Exactly.
And look at the years in the history of anti-Semitism with Jews and Christians. Not here.
Exactly.
Not in this century.
But it was one of the biggest challenges we had at the very beginning when we started doing Holocaust studies. We would be around Jewish people, like at Appalachian State University, at the Center for Judaic Holocaust and Peace Studies. The Jewish community sponsored that event for us. And at first, their arms were open to an extent, but we couldn't. It's like, to find that real close friendship with some of the Jewish people, we wondered, why is this such a hard thing? Then we started studying about the history of the church and the Jewish people, and found out why the Jewish people kind of held us off at a distance, because they weren't sure they could trust us. They weren't sure what our motives were in doing this museum. And as we just stayed in there and started developing those friendships and relationships, it's like we found a whole group of people that we embrace, they embrace us, and it's just a bridge is being built between the Jewish community and the Christian community, and we're part of that.
Those relationships we've built at App State, and Dr. Rennie Brantz, he's not there, but he's
the mayor.
He's the mayor of Boone, and one of the greatest scholars on World War II and the Holocaust, and Connie and I were honored to be under his teaching, and many, many more at App State, and their powerful work on the Holocaust, and many others in Charlotte, and many areas, and many other of our colleges and universities.
And really, we were trained under the best Holocaust scholars in the nation, in fact, in the world. Michael Berenbaum, the founding director of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., was one of the very first men that spoke to us and taught us lessons on the Holocaust.
And we've had international scholars and historians visit the museum and are absolutely amazed and shocked at the work of the students to be able to make the history come alive, because they do research projects. We have research scholarly projects right now on Auschwitz and the businesses that made it happen for the Nazis. In-depth research on Krupp Corporation, IG Farben, and these corporations that made it happen, that collaborated with the Nazis. And the students, we have students that have gone on in accounting, gone on in engineering, and they study what these Nazis did with their education. These evil businessmen that made it happen. Somebody built these places. And these are what the students look at, what these people did with their education, the decisions they made. And that's what, especially as Christians, Connie, we have looked at to see what they did with their education, what they did with their life. And so this has taken us in a place of education and research in the museum, and it's been such a blessing in the church.
And really, for us, Holocaust education is not a history lesson, per se. It is history, yes, but do we not learn from history? I mean, even the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that history will repeat itself, and part of the reason we teach history, and unfortunately, history is not the subject it once was when we were growing up, but we learn history so that we don't make the mistakes of the past. Right. But we're seeing those same things happen all over again. We don't want to make those mistakes. We want to learn from the mistakes of the past, and that's why one of the reasons we teach the Holocaust. These lessons are relevant to today.
And Connie, every school we've been to, everywhere you and I have traveled extensively, they ask us at every school we go to, please teach on bullying. Please warn the students, teach on bullying. Why is it one of the number one problems in American schools today? And to hear our students who have been bullied and who have an understanding of love, acceptance, understanding, and walking in love, and understanding and acceptance of our fellow human being. I mean, Christians have the greatest understanding, and we go and we are a living proof against bullying.
Exactly.
And it's amazing what the museum has stood against hatred, against racism, against bullying, against religious bigotry, and been a tool of understanding with all kinds of religions and people to bring an understanding.
And this is the approach we take when we teach the Holocaust. We want life's lessons to come out of this. We want people to examine their own hearts, examine their response to things that may happen to them in their own lives. And how do you deal with these issues yourself as an individual? It's not something that's just head knowledge. It's not just facts on a piece of paper with, remembering dates and names.
That's right.
Oh, how does this relate to me? And what does this teach me as an individual?
And our listeners heard from Butch and Mark. I mean, we have an understanding of hate and what hate can do. And you heard from so many of our listeners who were, recipients of that hate. Justin, he was a first-hand recipient of such hatred, even from his own family. That he felt that hatred firsthand, and others. And Butch talked about the incitement to hate and what hate can do, and even in our own country where we have laws against that, and what hate does. And Nazi Germany and the Holocaust stand as a record, on record fact of what hate can do.
Exactly.
And we've seen that, we've learned that, and it is
really. And as you're saying that, I think about the propaganda. Talk about, we have been victimized by propaganda, no different than what the Jewish people experienced with Joseph Goebbels during that era. I mean, the message and the infiltration of lies about a group of people. If we have experienced that, we understand that to some degree.
Connie, I always tell my students, I say, I wish I could stand up here and tell you that in 1945, anti-Semitism was gone forever. But I can't say that. And, it's so sad that after the Holocaust, after World War II and the defeat, where Adolf Hitler murders himself, and anti-Semitism did not stop. And we're seeing it today. And the museum has a very loud voice to combat anti-Semitism and to bring that message of love and acceptance that we've learned in our church. It's a message of our church. And it's just such an honor to be a part of that at our church. And we had no idea that God was going to take us through this ministry and build this church, and really that message of the history of the Jewish people and the message of the gospel from the kindergarten all the way up through high school and even on into the college studies is of that the love is so precious and so powerful in our church.
We've had Jewish people come in too that have had a hard time facing this history because it's the history of their families, the history of their people, and to look at that just straight on has been very difficult for some. But many have said when they come in our museum, they feel the love of God and they feel a healing, that they can face it. That is a miracle, because unless you can face that, unless you can get beyond the hurt and the pain of that, then it scars you for the rest of your life. And it's such an honor to be a part of helping people get through some of the hurt and the pain of their past.
And we understand that.
Yes.
We understand that at the Word of Faith Fellowship, because we've experienced that healing and that love and what God can do and how God can heal and bring you through all of that. Connie is the coordinator of our museum, and I'm the director of the Holocaust Museum at the Word of Faith Fellowship, and it is a ministry of the church, and we are so honored to be a part of that. And I asked Pastor Jane one day, I said, we need a mission statement for the museum, and it's so beautiful what she wrote about the honor that we have to bless God's people, to bless the Jewish people. What an honor that God would call us and use us to bless them. And we hope that we'll get to share more with you about the museum. Yes. I wanted to bring some little pieces today to show you some of the work at the museum, and we'll be talking more about that. And thank you for listening. Please go to the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org, and there is a link there to the museum. Yes. And a video, a virtual tour that you can look and go through the museum and look at the different projects, and you'll recognize some of the different countries that we represent in the museum. And you can look at that virtual tour and you'll see how beautiful the work of the students is in representing the Jewish people and representing the history of the Holocaust and World War II. Have a great day, and we'll be back again on Wednesday.
Coffee, then Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
Preston, former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort back in court this hour for a second sentencing in as many weeks. ABC News senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is outside the courthouse.